Hey Techno Studs, in this video we're going to talk about command line tools on a Raspberry Pi or command line tools in Linux. So here I am on my Raspberry Pi, my demo Pi here, and we're going to go over a couple commands that you can do, a few commands that you can do for troubleshooting purposes. I did a similar video with Windows and I went over some commands, so I'm going to repeat some of those, such as ping. I can ping an address, and what it's doing is it's testing the connectivity to that address. So the first one here is the ping, and I see that I have connectivity to it. One thing that we see that's different about this is on a Windows machine, to continually repeat a ping to something, we have to do a -T, where this just automatically keeps going, and I have to hit Control-C to end this and stop it from pinging. And then it gives me this little summary, which is kind of cool, about how many packets were transmitted and how many lost. And So then we got some good information on what the delay is to this address right here. Another one on the Windows machine that we covered was Ifconfig, but a similar command on this is Ifconfig. So we do an Ifconfig, and it will show us the interfaces that are on this device and some information about those interfaces. So that is Ifconfig. Similar to Ifconfig, we also have IP. So we could just type in IP and maybe we want to see addresses. Then I can say IP address and it will pop in with some information about the that we see with the addresses on the different interfaces. Or if I just type in IP, it will tell me exactly what commands I can work with this. So if I need to find out certain information, then I can find out that information, such as how about IP route? And I can type in IP route, and then it'll give me some information about the route. Windows has the NSLookup installed so we can do DNS queries and test out DNS. Now we need to install another application on a Linux machine in order to make this happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sudo apt get update so I can update all the repositories and make sure I have everything up to date. And then once I do that, I'm going to download the DNS utils program so that way I can use digs and then actually look up some of this information. So once again, I'll do a sudo apt get install, and we're looking for DNS utils, hit enter, and then I'll go through the process of installing this with all of its dependencies. I'm going to confirm, yes, and there it is, installing everything. I can verify the installation by typing in dig-v. I can hit that, and then it shows that yes, in fact, it is installed. So let's try using it. I'm going to do a dig on www.google.com, hit enter, and see if it comes back with an address. And we see in here it did a search for www.google.com and has come back with an IP address. It's the A record in here, so we are good to go. Similar to Windows, we have that trace route. This one actually is specified as trace route rather than trace RT. So, and then we specify, well, what are we tracing this to? So we'll trace it to google.com and hit enter, and it goes through the process. This one actually went much quicker, but we can see all of the hops that it took between here and getting to that www.google.com. These machines do have a Arp table on it as well, so I'm going to type in arp-a, and we're going to take a look at the Arp table. We see here the IP addresses and their associated MAC address and which connection it is on. So we do in fact have this Arp table, and we can look up the Arp table for troubleshooting things. The next one that we're going to take a look at is the Netstat, and the Netstat is going to show us all of those connections, all the network connections that we have connected. So it's showing us all of these connections that we have in here. And so Netstat can be used, one of those things, to see if there's some issues and what is connected to this device. Same as Windows, we can type in host name and we will see what the host name here is. And the host name of this device is Raspberry Pi. And the last one we're going to take a look at is the route command. And the route command, once again, shows us the routes there are to get to different networks. And so what's showing us is the different routes here, and then the default route, how to get to the outside world, how to get to the internet. There you have it, a few commands that you can use for your troubleshooting, for getting through this information. Like I say, we will cover a couple of these a little more in depth later on in this module. And these can be really helpful as you're trying to gather information, or if you're trying to trouble down and track down where the issue is at.